Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I'm Benji Messer. I use he, him pronouns. We introduce ourselves with our preferred pronouns here to make this a safe place for everyone to talk about their gender identity. And today's service is all about that, about gender and identity. We open with a hymn that notices our internal peace and joy. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing together. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. And I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. And I've got love like an ocean. I've got and I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. One more time. Peace like a river. I've got Please remain standing for our chalice lighting.
Good morning. My name is Amy McKlindon, and it is a pleasure to be your worship associate this morning. I use she, her pronouns. Please join me as we recite our covenant. We are thrilled to welcome back Mary Margaret McGee and Jim Murphy from their time up north, and they're going to light our chalice for us this morning. If you're watching remotely and you have a chalice at home, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Please be seated.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Reverend Christine Dance. My pronouns are she and her. In case you are tired of always hearing my voice, today I brought a different one. I am on the downside of a cold. I'm masking for your protection. I'm not hugging anyone today, but I'm feeling much better. In this sacred space, we celebrate the tapestry of all of our diversity, and we honor the boundless love that unites us all. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. Our doors swing wide open to embrace all who seek a welcoming place. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, a wellspring of courage, and a call to action. If you are new here, we are so glad you found us. Each Sunday is a little bit different here, especially going into this holiday season. So please come back a few times to really get to know us. If this is your first, second, third time here, do you mind raising your hand so that we can know that you're here? Hooray, wonderful. Folks, UUCP folks, here they are. Say hi to them, okay? I do have a few announcements. This afternoon, the activist songwriter duo Emma's Revolution will be performing a concert at 3 p.m. here in our sanctuary with a 2 p.m. reception beforehand. I know! You need to know how big of a deal this is. Sandy O and Pat Humphreys are here with us today for service. The concert is a benefit for the Unitarian Universalist Refugee and Immigrant Services and Education, otherwise known as UU Rise. This is being televised across the entire country, and they picked us here at UUCP to host it. We are really hoping that the walls will be bulging today with lots of folks. We invite you to come back this afternoon. You can buy tickets at coffee hour, after service, and at the door. And in an effort to help build a more sustainable planet and grow community amongst the congregation and foster an idea of exchange outside of capitalism, the children's ministry team is sponsoring an ornament exchange. It's an opportunity to share your extras, items you're paring down, or the ornaments you're ready to rehome and start a journey with a new family. The display will be on the table going towards the bathrooms and offices in the lobby. It will have some ornaments and tags so you can attach your name and some small details about the ornament, and they will remain there for the new year. And if they don't have a home by then, they may go into a children's ministry collection for what we hope will become a new tradition. Thanks for all who stayed after the services to decorate holiday cards on November 17th and 24th. Because of your efforts, 125 detained immigrants will receive greetings this year. It was a joyful experience to do hands-on work together. That may be the only Christmas greeting some of these folks receive. Thank you for that kind gesture. This Tuesday is our annual Blue Holidays ritual. For some, the holidays look just like the commercials. But for the rest of us, they can be a mix of different feelings and thoughts and emotions. Some can have very difficult times during the holidays, bringing up our sense of isolation, disconnection from family, unreasonable societal expectations, or grief in its many forms. Please know you are not alone in that. We will be here at 6:30 and also online. Find more details at Compass and the website. And then finally, this Friday at 6 p.m. here in the sanctuary is another concert benefiting our own UU Jazz, or UU Justice Arizona. This is our network for social justice activities across UU congregations in the state. They have had a number of changes recently and would really benefit from our support. Plus, we have our own amazing Benji Messer performing and Bob Davis's band of Kith and Kin. These are things you normally have to pay a lot of money for. Come join us for support and music. So now, let us take a breath. Let us draw deeper into the present moment and move into our worship.
Our opening words are from Reverend Joan Javier Duval.
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whether you have untold stories buried deep inside or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises,
You are beloved, and welcome here.
whatever is on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment,
You are beloved, and you are welcome here.
in this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection.
Let us worship together.
I now invite anyone who would like to come forward for Together time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm actually going to have folks sit here this morning, so on the little chairs, the couch down in front, but I'm going to have Bud and Nigel stand right here, or sit, whichever you want. Come on over. Good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Resendez, and I am the Director of Children's Ministries here at UUC Phoenix. Today, I want to talk to you about when we know something about ourselves is true and how that feels. So, for some of us, and for some things about us, we go through our lives and we think one thing, and then we hear other options, or we learn something about ourselves, or we learn to do something, and what we think about ourselves changes. Last week, we talked about labels, right? And how our labels that we gather and collect throughout our lives and our names for ourselves change and shift. The same can happen for things that we know are true, but then there are some things that you might know your whole life is true about yourself, and you feel it down in your core. So I want everyone to take a minute to think about something that you know is true about you, that you are proud of, that you feel good about. Give it a thought. What should happen is at first you think of one thing, and then another. And then suddenly you realize there are 10, 15, 20 things about you that you know are true and that you are proud of. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky. And sometimes you all know that I say this. There are things that are easier for kids to do than they are for adults. And this is a teaching thing. Because, kiddos, the adults in this room, most of us, especially if you're over the age of about 35, we were not raised with messages like, you can be whatever you want to be, you are amazing, you are beautiful no matter what. We were not raised with those messages. So when we have to think about what we're proud of ourselves for, it's really, really hard. So I want to give everyone a chance to practice being proud of something about themselves. So we're going to do something today that I am calling compliment karaoke. Nigel, would you be my assistant? Okay. Nigel's going to hold this mirror. Let me make sure. I think if we stand, turn it this way a little bit. Go up one step. Perfect. So I'm going to invite folks. Sorry, Tyson, I don't want to step on you. Let's go a little bit this way. I'm going to invite people up to come up, look in the mirror. Actually, you can go up one more step. I realized I could only see from here down, just my mouth. Okay, there. To come up, say something about yourself that you know is true and that you are proud of. Say it directly to the mirror, say it to yourself, say it to your eyes, and then the rest of us are going to respond with affirmation. So I'm going to encourage us to make our affirmation joyful, loud, and help the person feel strong. And remember, kids, these are adults who, when they look in the mirror, look and see the things they don't like about their face instead of seeing what a good writer they are, right? So we're going to have to really help affirm. And I know I'm going to hear a lot of, this is impossible for older adults, this is impossible for our elders. So I asked Bud to start. Would you like a hand? And I'm going to give you the microphone. Remember, the microphone is not an ice cream cone.
Let me see. I was really working on this one. She asked me this about a half hour ago. And, I like being kind to myself, and that enables me to be kind to others. And I've learned also to eat spinach.
Okay, let's see. Tyson, would you like to give it a try? Okay. Any other volunteers? Yes, Miss Bonnie.
I always thought of myself as Bonnie Joyful Fountain because my ideas would go here and here and here, and I've finally gotten the label attention deficit disorder, and I'm working to claim that leads both to a lot of creativity and putting a lot of ideas together, and also some days when they all clash with each other and nothing happens. But there it is.
Woo! And just in general, let's hear some neurodivergence pride, right? Okay. Someone else. Jara, how about you? No? Anyone else? Bela, is there anything you're proud of yourself that you know is true? Come on. Yes.
I am a very good drawer.
What do we think? We need at least 3 more chances to cheer for people? Okay, so I need at least 3 more volunteers. Duke.
I like the fact that I learned to talk back to the critical voices in my head that made me a scared, depressed, lonely, fearful young person. And that while I've been here at UUCP, I also learned how to smile at people and not be averse to actually meeting new people. I love that.
Hallelujah. That was a huge, huge one. John and Oliver, both of you raised your hands either. And just so you all know, John and Oliver are actually our teaching team for Crossing Paths. And these are the brave souls who bring our middle schoolers to things like evangelical Christian churches and a Buddhist temple and things like that.
I am proud to be a good son to my mom, and I'm also proud of being gay. So.
Beautiful.
Hey, you. I like the way you talk to people.
Thank you. And mirror, mirror on the wall, since you didn't get a chance, would you like to tell us something that you are proud of yourself?
I'm proud that this dude is energetic, has the personality he does, because it allows him to meet and have friends and family like he does, and also enable him to do flips and tumbling that I've been doing since I was like 4. Yeah.
So remember, when you're standing in the bathroom or in your bedroom against your full-length mirror, you're allowed to do this. It's okay. And you can remember the sounds of everyone cheering here and pretend it was yours, because it was. And in fact, the last thing we're going to do is bundle up sounds of affirmation for you each to take home with you. So on the count of 3, let's do some affirmation that everyone can travel with. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. You can return to your seats.
Each week, we split our offering between this congregation and an organization that shares our values. For December, our Share the Plate partner is Kids in Focus. Kids in Focus is a nonprofit organization mentoring youth to overcome adversity and build resilience through the art of photography. Since 2012, Kids in Focus has been putting cameras in kids' hands with the guidance and encouragement of adult mentors, many of whom are avid and professional photographers. They collaborate with local schools, nonprofit community partners, and foster care programs to engage Valley youth. For all that you give, we are so grateful. And ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us to pass the plate.
Did anyone else recognize that song? Yeah, okay, it's a certain generation. It's 80s, 90s, girls and boys. It was a pop song. It makes me very much smile. Benji, thank you. We recognize that our lives are interconnected. Part of our communal journey is sharing our significant milestones, joys, and sorrows. You can put a note in the chat in Zoom, and if you want us to read your joy or sorrow next week, there are cards that you can fill out before service at the small table in the back of the sanctuary. Today, Jez shares, I am excited to hear Jera perform at her first violin solo on Friday, and then also to see her perform percussion on Wednesday. Wow, Jira, our multi-talented youth. And from Eric. Eric says, my wife's mother will have her 3rd radiation treatment for her lung cancer on Monday. We are sending her and your family love and support as you go through that. And looking to see if there's any that come up in the Zoom. We'll give it a second while we sit and hold the joys and sorrows. May they help draw us closer and help us care for one another, those named and those that remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. I invite you now to a time of meditation and prayer. I share with you the words of one of my UU. I don't know, can we have ministerial crushes that aren't like crushes in that way, but people we deeply admire? This is Reverend Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish of grief and grief that inform our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and disenfranchisement of our people that foment our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given. The reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and we seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside with all of the holy nudges that we need so that we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given, so we may be the blessings in the world. Join me in a moment of silence for your own prayers and wishes. Amen, and blessed be.
So, again, today's sermon is about gender, looking at gender roles and identification. And for the second week, I'd like to sing Everything Possible by Fred Small with you. Fred wrote this in 1983 for a friend whose 9-year-old son was facing peer pressure to be a little man, to be tough and unemotional. And it made it into our hymnal, and many of us have been singing it for years and years. Fred did get the chance to revise the lyrics in 2022 when there was a picture book made of the song. And so those of you who have been singing it with us for years may notice a few updates in the second verse for inclusivity. And I think the chorus is the easiest part to sing along with, so let's do that first. If you know it, sing along, but let's do it line by line. It goes like this. I'll sing first and you sing after me. You can be anybody you want to be. Try that. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can love whomever you will. You can, and this is like the first line, you can travel any country where your heart leads. You can travel any country where your heart, and know I will love you still, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. Try that. You can friends around. You can choose one special one. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. Will be the love you leave behind when you're done. So that's the chorus. When that comes around, please sing it with me. The rest of the time, you're welcome to sing with me too. We have cleared off the table, the leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. Some children grow up strong and bold, while some are quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some take it slow, some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some leave every label behind. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible you'll find. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you. Want to stand up? You will be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. One more time. The love you leave behind when you're done. Thanks all. Please be seated.
For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be a mom. Actually, for some period of time in elementary school, I would have told you that I wanted to be a grandma when I grew up. So I was ready to skip right over the mom stage and go straight to what I was sure was just baking cookies and giving lots of hugs. The oldest of 3 siblings, caregiving came naturally to me, and I seemed to enjoy it, or at least I think I did. I chose a career in a helping profession, social work, and have volunteered as a tutor, a mentor, and a hospice volunteer. I have been drawn to, and I've enjoyed these roles, but I've also begun to more critically examine my personal and professional paths with an eye toward better understanding who I am at my core versus how I've been socialized as a woman in my family and in our world. Have I gravitated in these directions because it's part of who I truly am, or am I reading the script of what I think is expected of me as a woman? It's likely an impossible task to fully tease this apart, but it feels like an important exploration. I identify as a cisgender woman, and because my gender identity matched my sex at birth and fits the mold of who I felt myself to be and what everyone else around me has expected, I didn't feel compelled to engage in this exploration in my childhood or in my early adult years, but better late than never. While thankfully I am not a grandma yet, I do now have a really huge unexpected gift of caring for a teenager in my life who is exploring their own gender identity. This has helped me to more critically think about what I've simply accepted as truth for myself all along. It feels different to actively and consciously choose roles that have been traditionally gendered female, rather than just accepting them without questioning. I'm paying attention to what brings me joy and what makes me feel like me. And it turns out I love being one of this amazing teenager's moms.
So, So Rev Christine mentioned earlier that there's a benefit concert here today at 3 p.m. by the nationally famous Emma's Revolution, and that Emma is here to encourage you to attend this concert. Pat and Sandy offered to do a song for all of you in service. It is a song of theirs that is one of the truly great folk songs written in my lifetime. I said, okay. So. Please welcome them to the stage.
That is very sweet. I'm Sandy O, and my pronouns are she, her.
And I'm Pat Humphreys, and my pronouns are she, her.
And we're so happy to be here with you and also to help support You Rise today, so we do hope you'll join us. I understand some of you know this song. There's going to be words for you, and you can sing along with us. And what else did I want to say? It's just lovely to be with you. And I'm going to say that to myself in the mirror tonight. What's that? Oh, you do not have words for that. Well, there you go. That's fine.
That's okay. There's enough repetition, I think, in this song that you'll be able to pick up on some of the lines if you don't already have it. So here we go. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone, I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I've been patient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection will be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, binding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. Try it with us. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power, some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving the spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving the spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
And thank you, Benji.
Thanks so much.
We are so blessed. Thank you so much. If I can't breathe, at least maybe I can see. So let's see. Where were we from last week? For those of you who were gone for the holiday weekend, we had the first part of a two-part series on gender. We covered my many haircuts, and I asked you to consider what you learned about your own gender and why. I ended with these 4 questions for you to consider. What were some of your earliest memories of gender? What messages did you receive that reinforced your thoughts on gender? How much of those messages and thoughts have you kept, and what has changed? And how does your own sense of gender impact how you can experience the world? I'm thrilled that the past week has given me the opportunity to speak with probably about 20 of you all in different situations, and I love that you were eager to tell me your stories. I love that 3 of you also got very short haircuts when you were young because you argued with your mother about how hard it was to do your hair every morning. That feels like a common bond that some of us have. So this week we turn to the so what. Why do we care about this? Especially, why do we want to explore this in a Unitarian Universalist congregation? Why do we want to explore it at all? Contrary to the right-wing narrative, this is not like school where we're just taking children and having surgery done and making them into trans in one day. Also, how unattached to reality are some people? Anyone who has gotten any kind of gender-affirming care can tell you what incredibly long and arduous process that is. That narrative is absurd and harmful. No, I actually want us to consider this because exploring our own stories helps us detangle, see what I did there? The many religious, societal, and personal constructs that may cause obstacles for ourselves and our wider world. And it can expand how we understand what has meaning for us, whether that's the divine, the world outside of us, the universe, and we can also understand each other and ourselves. Last week, I told you how revolutionary it was the first time that I heard the divine referred to with she pronouns. It was like a lightning rod to my spirit. It was totally revolutionary to think of the divine as someone that fit more with my concept of myself. And I will say that it's still quite heretical to say it now in many spaces. In fact, my own existence here at the pulpit is heretical in some thoughts. But when I was thinking of that moment, I thought of the different videos I saw of little girls watching the first trailers for the live Little Mermaid movie, where the character of Ariel is cast with a very talented young black actress, Halle Bailey. These little girls were surprised, they were touched, one cried, their faces on their look to see that Ariel looked like them. To see Ariel look like them was revolutionary. And that's what happened to me when I first heard God referred to as female. I learned that this was also my introduction to progressive faith traditions that often embrace the idea that religion is living and evolving. We can think of it in new ways. Exploring gender opens new pathways for understanding divinity and our spirituality. In this case, to challenge the static, binary, or patriarchal depictions of God. And if we explore gender beyond the binary of male or female, it can enrich our theological perspectives. Maybe by doing so, you can see the divine as encompassing all genders, transcending the binary gender categories, embracing fluidity, or even multiplicity. Theologians like Marcella Altheus Reed, who wrote the book Indecent Theology, argue for embracing the messiness of human sexuality and identity as integral to that of embracing our divine experience. How we talk about the divine matters. The other obvious truth I want to name is that if we see a range of expressions of the divine, it encourages us to be our more authentic selves. After all, if the divine can be seen as extending beyond gender, maybe I can too. And we can know for sure 2 things. When people who are told that they can't belong within a faith tradition, it can cause lifelong harm. And when individuals are free to express their gender identities without fear of judgment, it can deepen their spiritual connection and participation within their faith community. Being authentic matters. This then leads us to re-examine sacred texts in new ways. Many progressive theologians argue that interpretations of Scripture have been shaped by historical gender norms. Revisiting these texts with a modern lens can uncover alternative understandings that uplift different voices. One example that is still powerful to me is the story of Ruth and Naomi in the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament. In Ruth 1:16 it says, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. Where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God." Do some of you recognize that from one of the songs we sing? Did you know that it came from the Hebrew Bible? Good. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole story. This could be a sermon of its own, and someday it probably will be. But I want to tell you that there's a whole lot there going on with the Moabite culture contrasted with the Jewish culture. But Ruth saying this to Naomi was a very, very big deal. She was pledging herself to another woman in solidarity. Take that any way that you want, even to death, and confirmed this oath in the name of Naomi's God. This story connected so strongly with me in how I experienced female relationships and the nurturing, loyal bonds that came with them. Whose stories we tell matters. Can you give me the big cup? Thank you. Let me give you a couple of other examples of how it impacts a range of religious traditions. Reform and Reconstructionist Jewish movements have adopted gender-neutral prayers and inclusive practices to affirm diverse gender identities. There is a movement within progressive Muslim faith traditions to explore interpretations of the Quran that uplift women's rights and gender diversity, challenging their own patriarchal readings of sculptures. As you know, this can be radical for places where the Quran is being used to actively oppress women. We know that many indigenous spiritualities have always been way ahead of non-indigenous thinking. Many of them inherently recognize two-spirit identities as sacred, offering us beautiful and inclusive models for integrating spirituality and gender. And I think that one of the biggest ways that progressive Christians have used gender exploration is to reinterpret scriptures to promote gender equity in leadership roles. Now, you can feel proud, or you can say it was late, that the first woman ordained into Unitarian Universalism, actually Universalism ordination, was in 1864. 150 years later, that role is still inaccessible in many denominations, pulpits, and cathedrals. The Southern Baptist Church affirmed that only men can be pastors just last summer. And the Catholics, well, they spent 4 years planning a retreat that happened a couple of months ago, a month-long treat to pray over and to consider whether women could be ordained as deacons. Not even priests, but as deacons. At the end of the month, which just concluded at the end of October, they punted. They said the possibility remains open and required further meditation. Who is given power matters. I know so many of you have worked against traditional patriarchal systems, both within this congregation and in the wider community. This congregation is very proud that it was founded, organized, and sustained by a woman, Isabel Johnson. This congregation has always had women in leadership, although it was a little later that women had that settled minister role. Many of you have marched and written and spoken up for women's rights from the ERA movement and beyond. You have fought to disrupt traditional power structures, to model and push for more egalitarian models of leadership and community that resist domination and celebrate diversity. Our past and our accomplishments matter. And the final one I want to have you consider, it may be a stretch for some of you, but maybe not. What I submit is that putting aside the categories and the binary of gender, and even going as far as celebrating the fluidity and ambiguity of gender, can enhance our spiritual lives. By looking at one area and removing the restrictions, the categories, the lines between them, we can more easily value things like ambiguity, fluidity, multiplicity in all of our ways of looking things. We can see them as central to our spiritual lives. By stretching our minds and our spirits, we can see these qualities as reflective of both the divine complexity and human complexity and diversity. It helps us to resist that sense that we know it all. And you know who you are, and me too, that we feel like we know it all. It makes us open to putting that certainty aside, to resist any kinds of rigid dogmas and allow us to embrace a spirituality that welcomes questioning and exploration. And if that doesn't sound like Unitarian Universalism, I don't know what is. Being open to the mysteries of the universe matters. I know that you all are used to me talking about how we can combat past injustices, oppressions, and uplift marginalized groups. I feel like you have gotten this message. What I want you to consider from this series is how, by exploring your own concept of gender, it can allow you to do not only that, but also enhance your spiritual understanding and experience. By expanding the constraints around one area, we expand our minds, our bodies, and our spirits in other ways. By doing our own internal introspection of our own gender, we can work to heal the ways it has limited us and release us to a more expansive experience of the world. May your exploration be rich, multifaceted, deeply personal, challenging, and so loving. And may you know that who you are, whatever you find that to be, you are perfectly whole and holy and worthy and wonderful. So may it be. After our final hymn, please remember to introduce yourselves to visitors and guests. Our Exploration Hour activities for children and adults starts at noon. We'll be on the screen following the service. If you loved Emma's Revolution, please come back at 2 for the reception, 3 for the concert. They'll be in the back with their music, and coffee hour is in the Johnson Room just outside of the patio, which is fully decorated for the Rise event this afternoon.
I said I was so glad to be here, and I meant it, because in times like these, we need each other. We needed each other before that day in November. We need each other now. And how we do the activist work that we do is through song, but it's with knowing the work that you do, witnessing the way you show love here in this congregation. witnessing the way you think and expand, and knowing what you do in your community. So you have helped me to keep moving forward. We're going to invite you to sing on this last song with us, and we're grateful to Benji for joining us. And Benji will be joining us on a few songs this afternoon, as will a really amazing performer named Vicki Randall, who was she was the first woman performer on the Late Show Band, speaking of, yeah. So she's awesome, and we're going to have a great time, and we're going to support this justice organization, URISE, that creates and supports and provides legal care and justice services for immigrant and refugee populations, and we sure need that now. So thank you again. Please sing with us.
We're going to do this in English and in Spanish.
That's right.
You'll see it up on the screen there, but it's very simple. If you don't speak Spanish at all, it's pretty simple to yeah. And you know the Spanish and the English version. Oh,
You
fabulous.
don't know, you do. Okay.
We love this.
Yay! We never know which songs precede us, so it's lovely. Good. Well, just sing then.
You can stand as you would love or not love and do whatever you like. Clap, dance, have a good time.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. And I'm gonna go right into the rhythmic version of it. Sigamos adelante. Siempre adelante. Siempre adelante. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Amaremos con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna reunite the families. Whoops, whoops. Reach across our borders.
Oh, that one.
Reach across our borders. Never turning back. Never turning back. Vivamos sin fronteras. Siempre sin fronteras. Siempre sin fronteras. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna reunite the family.
All of them.
Reunite the families. Reunite the families. Never turning back. Never turning back. Familias reunidas. Siempre reunidas. Siempre reunidas. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving.
Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
that song with the people who wrote it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. We love that. It's sustained us through the pandemic, and what a treat it was to do that with you all. May you all have your own explorations that bring you insight, expansiveness, and delight. May your week come with moments of awe and joy and love. And may you know that you are not on this journey alone. Go in peace and go in love.